Why couldn't you celebrate? What happened at the end of the war that bothered you so much? My daughter. I lost my daughter. Was I supposed to celebrate after having her ripped from me? I had to know what happened to her. I had to find out what I could do to help her. She died. No, I cannot give up hope. But we already did your quest. I thought we had closure with that. I thought we had closure. Draco bounced up and smiled for Saren as he always did. What do you need? Saren returned him a smile, but it was only affection. You're cheating. Smile for real. Really smile. Come on. Saren laughed at his absurdity. There it is. Your real smile is the best. Saren took in Draco for a long moment, until the mage noticed he was under inspection. What? How can you be so happy all the time? Life hasn't been fair to you, and I know you're damaged from the effects of that, but you're always smiling or cheering. How? Everybody deserves a smile. You were born a slave, but you smile sometimes. But Saren wanted to argue that Draco had more to frown about than him. He wanted to point out how Draco had almost no self-esteem, and that he was constantly ridiculed by Loren, or how Apollomesho still didn't trust him fully, even after all this time. But Draco was right. Why did someone have to be sad just because sad things happened to them? Perhaps Draco really did not care, and that was admirable in itself. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, you're right. They stood silently. It does help, though. Smiling. Draco's a sweetheart. People usually smile back, and then everyone is smiling. So when you have a real reason to smile again. So then you have a real reason to smile again. That's how I live my life. They smiled then, proving the point. Saren sighed inwardly. It's okay to show sadness sometimes too, though. Everyone just tries to cheer you up, though. You just look happy and save them the trouble. Draco, what Saren just said also is very wise as well. Saren pleaded with Draco with his eyes. It hurt him to hear him think that ignoring his feelings was okay, just to save those around him the effort of caring about him. Don't do that with me. Draco let go of his smile. It gets hard sometimes. I know. It's okay. Saren grabbed at Draco's shoulder. His hand itched to move to the mage's face, but he pulled back before he gave in to temptation. Draco's affection increased. How do you feel about being away from your clan? Amokiki took a deep breath before responding. I wish that I did not have to leave them. It does not feel good to be separated from your family. Yes, you have lived well and with much glory. Not enough glory. You mean for the sword? That too. What did you originally mean? We were speaking of my clan. You thought that if you earned enough fame, your clan would take you back? Becoming the wielder of the Hawkblade may have redeemed me. But that is no longer an option. Saren saw Amokiki with fresh eyes. Before, he considered him just a brute with a lust for battle. Do you regret your decision that caused you to be exiled? I regret that it had to happen. I do not regret my decision. Even if you had the option of going back now to change your mind, you would not? I would not. But when I was not honored with the Hawkblade, my paths to return were not many. I was tempted to spend my honor. If you think you can return now, why don't you just do it? I don't know if I can. I'm afraid that I am no longer nomad. My culture has changed too much. I know what you mean. I don't think I can live anywhere that doesn't have proper latrines. It is more than that. Help me to understand. Why? With the question turned on Saren, he was made speechless. This is my burden, not yours. But I am like you. I was born to the Amazons from a foreign father. I have only ever barely belonged there. Yet I do not think I could return to the Empire if I was given the chance. I have grown so far from who I was supposed to be. Saren had not made their connection until that moment, but now he realized that they were both tribalists. Their devotion to Loren stemmed from the same desire. Amokiki gave him an understanding look instead of words. Nice. Alright, let's see how things went with Ramis. Saren watched Dora confront Ramis from afar. She was very reserved at first, shuffling her feet and hanging her head. Ramis, however, was blushing up a storm. She held out the gem, and he blushed more. Ramis looked as if he stammered with his words for a while, until he finally shouted loud enough for even Saren to hear. You're a really fine lady, and I think you're the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Dora was stunned, staring back at him. She looked away bashfully and smiled. Then she giggled. She poked at his chest, and Ramis gulped. Eventually he smiled and looked unable to contain himself. Saren took this opportunity to walk to them. How are my two lovebirds? Buddy! Dora, she... Dora giggled and hid her face with the gem in her hands. Ramis planned this all along. He wanted me to find this because he's a super big softy. So cute. Cute? She thinks I'm cute. Duh, I always thought you were a cutie dwarf. I think you're the prettiest. Dora giggled again. Saren was sure that they would make each other very happy. Yay! Thank you, man. Thank you for helping me finally come out and say it. I would have been such a fool to never say how I really felt about her. I would have been worse. It would have been worse to have known than to keep... worse to have never known than to have kept the blasted thing a secret. Did you want this back? No, it's yours. Please, keep the thing. I got it for you. Is it your family crest? Ramis stuck out his chest with pride. Yep. Wow, there's so many merits on it. You must be like royalty over there. Ha, they wish. They'll never rope me into that political hooey. It's just me, Max, and my girl. Dora squeaked and threw her arms around Ramis and rubbed her nose against his. Saren backed off, knowing to give them their privacy. It's a little cliche, you know, you got a female dwarf, you got the male dwarf, so the obvious thing is for them to fall in love with each other. And, I mean, no, they're cute, don't get me wrong, they're cute. But it might have been nice to have had the option of... I definitely would have romanced Ramis. Definitely. I mean, look at those abs. How could dark magic befall the Amazons? Ma'am? I am speaking to myself. I apologize. You do that too, huh? This is the first time I have seen the Amazons so vulnerable. The Citadel has always existed in isolation, and now that our gate opens regularly, we have opened ourselves to this sort of attack. I hope you don't reinstate isolationism again. I've gotten hooked on this thing called mead, and I'd rather like to keep drinking it. The Citadel's wine has always been superior. It's not bad. Mead is a bit different. How does it taste? Awful? It's wonderful. I'll bring you a mug next time. We should really focus on the task at hand. How have you been enjoying your time with us so far? I must say it's been rather enjoyable. At first I thought this excursion would be like my mercenary work in the past, walking along distances and shooting away the vermin that steps in our way. I'm happily mistaken. Hunting demons that are plotting to take over the world? That's straight from a fairy tale, and I'm part of it. What's more, our targets are more of the toughest I have faced. Not quite as impressive as some of my past skills, but since I've already dealt with the worst, what more can you expect? You've dealt with stronger foes? Maybe a few. So yes, I am quite satisfied with our hunting. Though we could stand for some longer breaks in between kills. A little rest and recuperation along the way. I've been hitting the camp non-stop this entire time, Ray. We already take many breaks at camp. Thank you. I'm referring to inns in the city. Soft beds, professional food, fresh company. You don't like hanging out with us? In doses. That's it? Let us cut this one short, shall we? Chambara, what do you think you'll do once this is all over? Anything I wanted to. Why in a free world, I could set up shop in Everburn itself. Or perhaps start a bakery in Horus. Maybe I could be a slave in the Citadel next to you. So this is a joke to you. Of course that's a joke. What have I been wanting to do since you snatched me from the swamps? I've wanted to go back to my hut. Chambara shifted and looked Saren dead in the eye. Why do you want to know? So I can know where not to find you, of course. Thanks, save me some time. Of course, don't worry, the feeling is mutual. They locked eyes. No, I'm gonna be friendly. I want to be friendly. That's not appropriate. I'm gonna be friendly with her for once. Don't you think that after all this time we've spent together, I may care about what happens to you next? Chambara shrugs and dismisses him. Save your worry. I know how to take care of myself. Always have, always will. It doesn't matter anyway. You'll still be Loren's toy, and she'll shelve you right back into the Citadel. Our futures don't overlap. Chambara walks away after that, leaving Saren to hopelessly find a response to that, but can't find one. Any news on the liberation of the Dark Elves? Mesfit was silent for a while. I have heard that the elders are in the walks with my father, are in talks with my father. Only through intermediaries, however. He still is not allowed to enter the forest. But why not? Mirth can prove that he is harmless. I am quickly finding out who holds the real power in the forest. The druids may own the trees, but the elders own everything in between. But if they are deliberating, then that's progress. It is some progress. Is being optimistic physically painful for you? I will relax my ire the moment my people can live amongst the forest elves and be treated no different. That may take hundreds of years. This upset Mesfit. Wait, that may take hundreds of years. This upset Mesfit, but he did not shout. I am also becoming more aware of that. It is unfair, and I will fight it every step of the way. But if that is the only way, then I will walk that path with my brothers and sisters. We have been 1,000 years ostracized. I hope it does not take 1,000 more to erase that. Mirth is doing what she can. I believe it will be much less. But even still, Mesfit, will you never be able to live in the forest? You are part demon. I've come to terms with my fate. I am fighting for my kin only. That is enough. What will you do if the Dark Elves are allowed back in the forest, and they all leave you behind in the desert? Not all will go. Really? But I thought that was the point. The point is the choice. We were cut off from our homeland. If the forest is opened back up to us, then we will finally choose for ourselves how we may live. I know already that many Dark Elves will remain in the desert. What about your father? He deserves to live in the forest. He's dreamed of it for a long time. I hope that he gets that chance in his lifetime. Thank you. Nice. How come I didn't get any affection from Mesfit then? Come on. Come on. I told you before that I had sinned, and I was repenting, right? Yes. I am willing to share to you what that was now. Oh, come on, Sauser, open up. I love it. I love to see that we've finally reached a certain rapport where you can consider me a close enough friend. Saren leaned in on a bended ear. I was once a command bandit. I was young and fell into the wrong crowd just to get food for my family. But that was not my greatest sin. My thieving lifestyle hurt my family more than it helped in the end. My sister was a very intelligent woman, and she was granted access to a wizard's academy in Horus, but the tuition was steep. I pocketed extra money on my jobs, but the gang found out. I begged for my life in every way I could think, which I'm sure included many lies, but I had informed them of my family's move to a new city as a reason to live. They spared me, but my sister's caravan never reached Horus. And so, that is why I decided to pursue a life of honesty. And it's why you still don't feel atoned. Your sins were too personal. It will not be a bad thing if I have never felt at peace, because I do not deserve to. I'm sure your sister has long forgiven you, but I have yet to forgive myself. That's a little important, too. Saren placed a hand on Sauser's shoulder. It's okay to find peace. What are your thoughts on being dead? You know how I feel. It is not so bad. Of course, being a necromancer, it's the same for any who believe in life after death. Elysium, was it? If you believe such a paradise exists, you are like me. I just don't need religion as a middle step to comfort in passing. What do you believe happens when you die? I don't pretend to know. I don't pretend to know. I do know. We fall in the underrealm and live out eternity there. The magic of that world will keep us quite busy. Underrealm? That does not sound like somewhere I would like to spend eternity. It is what you make of it. For some people, it is a terrible place, but only because they brought that terror with them when they died. I believe I've lived quite a content life, so my eternity will be quite pleasant. What will your eternity be? Endless wine, lots of nude dancing. No, stop, I don't need to hear that. I love their conversations. The citadel was so weak. The plague crippled us. Loren looked completely unfocused. Ma'am? The Amazons have always been prepared for war. We've always been ready and willing. And strong. You're worried about your people. Of course I'm worried. I'm relying on my sisters to dictate the tide of war. Isn't it more than that? Maybe you actually care about your friends and such. Loren's lips pressed strongly together tightly. Surely you had friends, didn't you? I am concerned about the war. That is all. It's my fault that I let this happen. I should have been there. I could have stopped whoever poisoned us. I could have killed them right then. Your fault. Probably more like Brez's fault. And how would you being at the Citadel have helped anything? You have been made sick as well. You would have made sick as well. Loren looked away, conceding that she would have gotten sick if she was at the Citadel, but secretly believing that she would have killed the rats responsible before they poisoned anyone. Alright, I think I've done a bunch of shopping. I think we've spoken to everyone in camp, so let's continue on to the next chapter. Majesty, are you prepared to send the Grand Army against Faust in the Everburn Mountains? There is no turning back after this. Yes. Send for my battle armor. We are going to war. Breza smiled and pounded her chest. Yes, ma'am. Loren turned to her mother, standing behind her. You will be queen when this is all over. That is strange to me. You didn't accept the Hawkblade either, but it needs you. This world needs you, and your people need you. Most of all, I need you to replace me. Loren frowned, but she bowed her head quite quietly. Karen stroked her hair once. The motherly touch struck Loren's very core. When she raised her head again to look into her mother's eyes, she stood as an adult. Here we go. Both nations had recognized the might of Loren, Amazon Princess. They granted her power over their nation's armies, combining them into one. She was now the supreme commander, higher than both General Ashtran and Samael. With Saren still as her second in command, he rose in rank as well. Yet no one could have been prepared for what was to come, not even Loren. Ooh. Chapter 4, March on Everburn. The Grand Army marched under Loren's orders across the plains of Aravorn towards the Everburn Mountains. The demons had already begun to wage chaos outside of their territory. Creatures of every level of depravity had amassed forces so thick that they appeared as black clouds on the horizon. Loren watched her troops span the entirety of the plains before her. She stood proud as she shouted to address them. Today we begin our march into wicked lands. There will be evil. There will be death and blood and sheer terror. There will be your darkest nightmares and greatest fears. But remember that you are there to destroy it. You are righting those wrongs. You will be justice itself by extinguishing their lives. This isn't really all that fitting of a background music for a rousing speech like this. And in their wake there will be glory, hope, peace. There will be good again. Seriously, they really should have changed the song to something else in the background. She took out her sword and pointed it towards the sky. It was a beacon that spoke more than any of her words ever could. Its light pulsed across Loren's skin and onto Saren, standing faithfully beside his princess. The dull roar of the demons behind her had become undeniable. Before they could even begin to confront Faust, they would need to cleanse the world of every last demon. Loren gave out a roar of her own, signaling a charge. Her sword cut forwards to aim at the demons. The army moved. Loren looked over at Saren by her side. This is really not fitting music for this part of the story. They gave each other a resolute look. Then they bounded forward together into battle. You have won 0 battles against demons, and you're 0% of your goal. Attack a large demon. Yes. Let's pull out the people that we normally use and start using other people. Yeah. Pull these people out. Yes, yes. Let's stick in some mirth. And then we'll throw in Karen, Ramus, and yeah, let's put Amokiki in the middle. Okay. There we are. Demon Beast A. Dora. Oh my. Oh goodness, gravy. What the? Oh my goodness. I could heal. Or I could attack. Attack doesn't really do much. I think I'm gonna heal. Seems like a little bit of a waste, but I mean, could do this. Take out.
I hope this is slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah, let's do that. Throw up a shield wall. Okay. Alright, Dora. Yeah, these fires are not doing us not boding well for us. Gotta get rid of the flame hounds. Oh my. Yeah, we're gonna need to get rid of these things. Try fireball this time. See if we can burn anything. There we go. Ugh. Good job, Karen. Alright, fine. Heal! Although Mirths needs some more magic points.
This is your end.
It's a good thing they're dodging this fire pretty decently well. Defend. Water demon. Pinning shot. Take this one out. Nice. Phantom form. There we go.
Try this
Fireball.
out for size.
Nice. Take that. Alright, come on. Take this one out. Can't really heal anything at the moment, so this will take care of that. Oh, finally I can actually do something. There we go. That was nice. Remus is down. Karen's about to go down too. Oh man. I need to take that one out. Here. Medium restoration. Drop a potion. There we go. Nice. Uh-oh. Whoa. There we are. Now we're cooking with gas. Phantom form. Take that.
There may be strength.
Nice. Now you have nowhere else to hide. Keep it up. Not so fast.
I didn't think I had it in me.
Beautiful. 26% of the goal. Alright, let's replace some people. Let's get you in there. Got a tag team. Put Ray in there. Put a Palomesho in there. Throw in some trouble. Okay. We can do this. Oh boy. Water demon. Yes, please. Okay, oof. Ow! Seriously? Good lord. Defense. Get my defense shield up. Gotta take this one down as quickly as possible. Ooh. Devour. More regeneration. Palomesho is our only healer at the moment. Ooh. Come on, trouble.